There's no way you could go, this is just a cameo and a pity casting for Elliot Page now. You can't. This was deliberately bringing in a character from outside the story to make that character, who isn't in it very much, prominent to the story.
Oh, no. Sinan is very prominent.
Oh.
Seen in flashbacks, seen at the beginning. Killed in the beginning, but when they go to Hades, it's Sinan that Odysseus speaks to.
Not the ghost of Achilles.
Correct.
They replaced the ghost of Achilles with Sinan. So
That's
essentially, Elliot Page plays Achilles.
Is a proxy for
Is
Achilles'
a proxy.
character. Yeah.
Oh no!
When you see
no!
The shot
that is a bombshell. What you just said.
Nerdrotic.com.
Let's just get right into it. Let's just get into the Odyssey. So Chris saw it Monday. I knew he was going to see it Monday. I was waiting for your out of the theater review. I was literally talking to somebody on the phone going, I'm like, I was talking to Disparu. and I'm like, I'm waiting for Chris and Alan to come out. And then like, boom, you came out, you dropped your review. It did very well, by the way. So well done.
Thanks to you. I appreciate that.
A lot. I don't know. It was all you, baby. It was all you. So, yeah, and I heard your thoughts. Alan was way more savage than you. Do you give the Odyssey a passing grade?
I'm still not sure. I'm seeing it a second time. Alan's review just dropped on filmthreat.com. It is from what I can tell, the only negative review. He gave it a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. I'm still not sure yet because a couple things. One, you've seen all the wild praise on social media and whatnot, and everyone's saying pretty much the same things. It's epic. It's huge. It's big. It's Nolan. And I think a lot of it is there's a group think when it comes to most critics that they tend to repeat themselves, say the same things, or echo what other people are saying. And it just gets they don't know what to say. And I think a lot of critics, because it's Nolan, because it's big, they're afraid to say how they really feel. And when we came out and did our out of the theater, it's how we really felt. And I feel similar to how I felt, strangely, about the Batman. There are things I loved in the Batman. Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves, right? Things that just are amazing, that opening. And there are things that are so freaking frustrating and annoying. And that's my battle with the Odyssey. Is there's a major thread involving Elliot Page's character Sinan that I think is not only will Elliot be pushed for a Best Supporting Oscar nom, will probably win. The movie will win for Best Casting. And Alan even brought up a point during the Out of the Theater that I hadn't thought about, of like, why is it bugging me? The language bothers me. You know, in Lord of the Rings, you might agree is the best trilogy ever.
It is.
They speak in a way that gives everything weight, right? There's weight to it. There's, yes, they have accents that vary, but there's a weight, there's a classic way they speak. And by speaking in such a familiar way, it diminishes so much about it. In addition to the fact that the cast, Matt Damon is just Matt Damon. Anne Hathaway is Anne Hathaway. Tom Holland plays a good Tom Holland. I think his best role is Peter Parker. I'm sorry. He is, name another Tom Holland role that you really fall into it. You forget the actor and see the character. That never happens. And the speaking with the, saying things like, let's go, or fuck off, which is said in the movie, takes you out of it. It's a modernity that reminds me of a film that I can't even believe this popped into my head, but it's an apt description, is the movie El Topo by Alejandro Jodorowsky, which is a modern deconstruction of the Western. It's a great movie. It's a midnight film from back in the 70s. It's very obscure. That director was going to make Dune. In fact, there's a whole documentary about it. If you have not seen El Topo, you should. There are shades of El Topo, like okay, parts of it are modern, but then like the thing with Travis, the rapper,
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott, yeah. Not a fan, don't really know him, shouldn't surprise you. You know, like, what's he doing there? You know, he kind of bookends the film, and but I have to say, there are parts of pure spectacle. The part with the Cyclops, you know, and the sheep in the cave, that sequence, I mean, they built, at least from what I could tell, parts of a full-size giant. Other scenes, such as, you know, the Troy, the fall of Troy, them coming out of the horse, they were big, but I have to say, like, I've seen bigger and more epic in other movies, you know, not to mention the Lord of the Rings trilogy, in particular, Two Towers. I mean, it's so, I can't, you can't, there are parts you just can't turn it off. Okay. I don't know that I'll feel that way about this. Other parts, the giants they encounter on the island, you know, they're in the, you know, all the armor. That scene was pretty cool. A lot of times I'm sitting here trying to figure out, well, how did he do that? Because he's mostly a practical guy. And it's refreshing to see a movie that doesn't overly use CGI. The part with Samantha Morton playing Circe, where she turns the men into pigs, is straight up a freaking horror movie. Nolan could do horror. The way it's achieved reminds me of Ken Russell's The Devils. I'm referencing really obscure old movies from the 70s, which I believe to be Nolan's inspiration. But I wanted it to feel bigger. And for me, I don't know if the projection bulb was dimmed. It seemed flat and colorless, and that affects your feelings. So you've got the language and the way it's spoken kind of diminishes. The stars, Anne Hathaway cries so much in this movie. It's distracting. Like, is she going to cry again for the 5th time? Tom Holland just, you know, he's a boy who's like 30, but you know, this could have been what Inception is as a father-daughter story. This could have been a father-son story, and it misses the mark. And the I think greatest offense, which a lot of people are going to have a problem with, is Elliot Page's character. This is not in the story. This is something wholly original that Nolan made up that bookends the film. And if you want to
ends the film, yes, you told me that.
You want to, I don't know that I should go into it. But Sinan is a major character and is called by Odysseus to a coward because Sinan took the place of a coward in the movie. The greatest soldier I've ever known. Those words, or the words to that effect. Elliot Page, who looks like, you cannot look me in the eye and say Elliot Page looks like a man. Elliot Page looks like a boy, and on the red carpet wearing that ill-fitting suit looked like a 13-year-old going for his first job.
Elliot Page looks like a woman who transitioned to a man. That's what Elliot Page.
Elliot Page looks like a woman who transitioned to a boy, not a man. Like, so slight in frame. Like, and look, I feel for Elliot and what this person went through. But to rebuild the story of the Odyssey around that character being major, because honestly, going in, I know the story. You know, I read it in elementary school. And you know, like, I've seen various versions of it. You know the basic points, right? Mm-hmm. And he approaches it like an old 1970s. We're going to do everything real and practical. And recently, this movie is being re-released called Iphigenia, which is about Agamemnon sacrificing one of his daughters to go off to war. It's about that part of the story. That looks more epic than what I saw, and it's all practical, and it was made in 1977. I could show you the trailer, Gary.
Does Jason and the Argonauts look more epic? Okay.
Well,
so, I mean, that's
for its time, yes, because
for its time, yeah.
For its time. And he was trying to, I can see what Nolan was going for realism, updating it to modern. And I know that from Nolan movies, the first time I saw Interstellar, Oppenheimer, a couple of his movies, I always feel like, God, I don't know how I feel about this. I got to think about this. I have to let it marinate in my brain. And then for the movies of Nolan that I like, the movie got better. Oppenheimer got infinitely better upon repeat viewings. I don't think this is one of those movies. I mean, it's too flawed in so many other ways. I mean, there is, I will say, a great moment where everything's been boiling up near the end and some cool shit happens. But there's so much, like I said, how I feel about the Batman, things I really love, things that are really bothersome. And I think the things Nolan added did not make it better. And a lot of things, it's really tied to character. Odysseus is dealing with PTSD, and they lean into that. Other things like Athena, I mean, Zendaya's she's kind of weightless, both maybe in real life and I don't know, but she recurs a bit too much. I mean, look, I sat next to Alan during the screening. He was bored. There were parts I was bored. I usually have to pee at least once during a movie. I went twice, and I don't think I missed anything.
So yeah, the pace, even the people who are praising it right now, the thing we see the most with the early reviews that look real, because there's a bunch of fake ones, is pacing issues. Would you agree with that?
100%. The first half hour of the movie is a slog. Then when it gets to the good stuff, the Cyclops and whatnot, it's like, I got to say, I was pretty amazed. Like, Nolan straight up must have built a giant prop, and I could see how he could do it.
He did, I think.
Have you ever seen footage from, I've never seen this. There's a Broadway play of King Kong. Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds ridiculous, but they built a giant puppet. I haven't seen the play. I've seen footage. It looks really amazing. That's kind of how I feel how they did it. And the Cyclops is very sympathetic.
But
the way he dealt with the monster is great. So there are sequences of this sequence on its own, great. But as a whole,
getting there is a bit of a slog, are you saying? Or is it just pacing issues? Like
100%
is it
a slog? Okay. And the Elliot Page thing, that will be calling Sinan.
You just told me how that book ends. There's no way you could go, this is just a cameo and a pity casting for Elliot Page now. You can't. This was deliberately bringing in a character from outside the story to make that character, who isn't in it very much, prominent to the story.
Oh, no. Sinan is very prominent.
Oh.
Seen in flashbacks, seen at the beginning. Killed in the beginning, but when they go to Hades, it's Sinan that Odysseus speaks to.
Not the ghost of Achilles.
Correct.
They replace the ghost of Achilles with Sinan. So essentially, Elliot Page plays Achilles.
Is a proxy for.
Is a proxy.
Character. Yeah.
Oh no!
When you see the shot where Odysseus in the trailer is running on the beach away, saying "Let's go." That's when they visit Hades, and it's played like.
I thought you meant because I asked if Achilles was in it. That was my only question to Chris, and he goes, "No." I thought they just skipped that scene. No. I'm finding out now for the first time that scene's there, and they replaced Achilles with Sinan.
And Sinan says,
who was specifically cast as Elliot Page. There's no other way you can look at that casting.
And the other thing is, Sinan is angry at Odysseus. Why did you lie to me? Because Sinan was left with the Trojan horse on the beach to present the gift to the.
If I was Odysseus, I would ask, why did you lie to me?
Yeah, why'd you lie to me?
Dude.
Says to the Trojans, they immediately kill Sinan, and they were sacrificing Sinan, knowing Sinan would die, and they didn't bother to tell Sinan that they were inside, because they couldn't even do that, because they didn't want it to come out that they were pulling this, this trickery. So then you see that's in the middle, and it's kind of bookended by Robert Pattinson's character is the coward who basically swaps himself out for Sinan. So Sinan goes off to war instead of himself. He's one of the suitors. Yeah, I think Robert Pattinson's actually one of the better actors in it because he's a good actor. Villain. He's such a good villain. Such a good villain. Okay. But these are my thoughts. So
no, Chris, that is a bombshell. What you just said. That would have been the first. I would have led with that in all reviews. Like, I lead you to. I gotta build up to all. You did a great job. I was surprised. I was shocked. My expectations were subverted, except reaffirmed at the same time.
There's stuff that is fantastic and stuff that's god awful and didn't help. That was it. And I also think the American accents, it just brings it down for me. And maybe it's, we've been trained that classic epic stories like this, maybe they speak a little differently, even if not accents, at least more colorful language that, I feel like it breaks the verisimilitude to hear someone say fuck off in Odysseus, in the Odyssey. It's mind-numbingly annoying. I do plan to see it again, and I want to see it with a paying crowd, not a bunch of critics who clap at the end who didn't pay to see it. I'm paying to see it a second time, and I want to see if my opinion changes. But I'm more on the end of like Alan Ng gave it a 4. I would like if you push come to shove. So I probably
that's where I am. I'd say push come to shove.
5, like 5.5.
Okay.
But it's the problem that I see is people are afraid to say they don't like it.
Well, for multiple reasons. Two. We'll say 2 reasons. I haven't seen it yet. I could love it when I walk out. But I think
I know you too well. You're not going to love it.
Critics are not going to they're not going to contradict Nolan for the most part. Some have in the past, but for the most part, no. But more importantly, because this has become a culture war football, the critics are going to back it just for that. And they have a track record of doing that all the fucking time.
I think this will be divisive, maybe not on the level of One Battle After Another, but I think this movie will win Oscars to spite people.
Elliot Page winning Best Supporting Actor. I'm calling it now. It happens. It happens.
I'm calling it. Why? Because it's not about, I'll tell you something about the Oscars a lot of people don't realize. It's not about who gave the best performance.
No.
It's about who they, meaning the Academy voters, want to see give a speech. They want to see that moment. How will that person react?
Amelia Perez. They feel robbed by Amelia Perez. If they hadn't unearthed, I feel robbed by Amelia Perez. If they hadn't unearthed those, past Twitter posts, a little sensitive to a guy from an Austrian guy who led Germany, he would have won Best Actress.
And by the way, this is the second run now at an actor that changed their gender, and they want to kind of make a statement. I'm calling it. Elliot Page will win Best Supporting Actor. Yep. It's coming, and I'm not saying it's undeserved.
I am.
Elliot Page plays a boy in the movie, not a man, a boy. But there's an agenda behind it.
There was an agenda behind the casting, making the character a lot more prominent in the story. I mean, replace being, as you said, a proxy for Achilles.
Right.
Just stop that. This was the best. This was the most creative decision based on merit. Don't even give me that bullshit. That's what, I don't know if the Piers interview comes up today or tomorrow, but that's what Will and I were trying to express is like, just admit it was subversive casting. If you were honest about it, I'd respect that more. I still wouldn't like it, but I'd respect it more. It's like, no, we are being subversive. We are trying to piss you off. And that Lupita Nyong'o, that's what Piers and everybody kind of wanted to stay on. I tried to steer it to Elliot, but
well, wait. Lupita Nyong'o's barely in the film at all, and her character is disfigured, like scars across one side of her face. It really, the makeup looked great, by the way. But what I'm saying is, based on the fact that I've been watching movies a long time, I see where Nolan's influences come from. And they come from the filmmaking styles of the 70s and deconstruction films. The Western was dying by the late 60s, early 70s, right? And Alejandro Jodorowsky, a Spanish director, made El Topo, which is it's a great film. And it's very much a journey, almost like the Odyssey, encountering different types of characters. I can see this influenced Nolan a lot. The way the gods are played is they're in your head. They kind of pop in, they're there, and then they're not there.
No Poseidon.
No Poseidon.
No.
Though an acknowledgement that the Cyclops is the spawn of Poseidon.
Yes.
So
that's kind of important because that's what leads to the rest of the story.
Yeah, that throws them off, and you know all that happens. But I don't know.
What gods? Okay, so there's just what? Calypso, Athena,
and they mentioned Zeus a lot, like Zeus's law.
Yeah. So Christopher Nolan does use other films as templates for his films, right?
Yes.
He makes his crew watch like Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that was for Inception. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was for Inception.
Yeah.
And with Dark Knight, famously Heat. Like he uses other people's films. Like, this is the tone we're looking for. Everybody needs to see this movie, right? Which is, I'm fine with that. That's fine. So maybe he did it with this one. Do we know for sure?
It was Last Temptation of Christ. He showed the crew.
Oh, for this?
Correct.
For the Odyssey.
Correct. It's been reported.
Interesting, because a lot of people are arguing Mel Gibson would have been a better director for this. But oh well.
Well, no, I think Robert Eggers.
I'm sorry, Last Temptation of Christ. I was thinking, no, that's.
I think Robert Eggers would be a better director for an authentic Odyssey. But
that's the one where Bowie plays Pontius Pilate. And
side note, John Leguizamo is fucking terrible.
Scorsese.
John Leguizamo is just like.
Is he?
He's not very good as the blind older dude.
Well, he's not a good actor. That's why I'm like, why did he get a role? It's so random.
The Odyssey is, I would say, lacks in authenticity.
So
how takes you out of it?
How is the sound mixing?
Awful, god awful. And not only that, how like Interstellar has a great score.
Yes.
Oppenheimer, great score. Also Ludwig Göransson, Swedish composer, who also did the Odyssey. It's the worst score for a Nolan film ever.
Ooh. And
usually I think the score in a Nolan movie does the heavy lifting.
In a lot of cases, yes.
Yeah. Think of the Dark Knight trilogy. Music's great. Like all of his films, he really.
Oh, the Dark Knight soundtrack slaps.
It's phenomenal. Phenomenal. Interstellar, great. Inception, same. I'll defend all of those. But great soundtrack.
But the sound mixing of
god awful
dialogue as opposed to sound effects and
it's
ADR, whatever ADR is used.
It's always been an issue with Nolan.
Foley.
Yeah, everything.
Do people still? I mean, is there still Foley in Hollywood?
Yeah,
they still have people walking on sand
They even have. I met the guy at a convention once who did what they call. There's a term for it called breaths and efforts. He did breaths and efforts for.
He's like,
yeah. When you see like Tom Cruise running or there's like punching, or like, we're just like, just literally the breathing and the like.
This could be cut in a really wrong way, by the way.
Yeah, true. But like, that's a big thing in movies. You don't bring actors back. You bring actors back to do dialogue, but this guy did every Tom Cruise movie. He did the breaths and efforts, and it's a big part of the movie. Even though it's low in the mix, if you didn't hear it, you'd think something was wrong. It's a mixed bag to the point where I have worries about Jeremy. Is he seeing the movie?
I always worry about Jeremy.
I mean, isn't he seeing it 3 times in a row? I've got tickets to see it 4 times or something.
Yeah. Listen, again, Jeremy is a Nolan fan, and there's nothing wrong with like rooting for your guy, like at all. That's fandom. I respect the hell out of it. And he's said from the get-go that this will be a successful movie and it will be good. But the thing is, if it's not, he will tell you. Now he's gonna side with this boy, like just like he sides with Tim Tebow and Titanfall 2, and it's all good. That's why it's gonna be fun on Friday, because if it's mixed, which it very well could be, like we'll have some of the people liking it, some people not. That's because that's never happened before on FNT. This isn't a surprise.
Yeah, but Alan,
it's 98 because of Alan Ing. Let's find out, because we're going to look at.
I don't know if Alan's there yet.
Let's see. We don't. Just scroll down. 9 out of 10, A-. I'm not shocked by any of this.
I think that the audience score will be.
I think it'll be insanely high. So the audience score for film, you have to jump through a bunch of hoops, prove that you saw the movie, and it's fixed at this point for movies. For TV shows, you do not have to jump through those hoops. But this was changed, as you remember, Chris, by Captain Marvel due to the quote-unquote review bombing of Captain Marvel.
Right.
But what it doesn't stop is the review bombing from the studios that they clearly pay for when they use their marketing company to hire a third-party marketing company to gas up films all across the internet. Right, Chris? Because you sent me that video, by the way. Yeah. Thank you, Chris, that we went over on Friday Night Tights, which I thought was very enlightening.
Well, I don't think Alan's is there, but I will say you're going to scroll through. There'll be one Rotten Tomato.
I haven't seen one yet. Have you?
Yeah, no. I know, for example, Film Threat, not me, not Alan personally.
There we go.
Oh, Edward Douglas.
The Weekend Warrior. Pacing problems, darkly lit, and muddy sound mix often makes the Odyssey too obtuse for its own good. Now, I'm betting there's pacing issues even in the reviews that like it. I saw that a lot. I mean, again, I'll make my own conclusion when I see it, but I could walk out going, you know what? It's pretty good.
It's weird how Rotten Tomatoes works, because Film Threat as a media outlet is on Rotten Tomatoes, but I personally, nor Alan, is on Rotten Tomatoes as people, individuals.
No.
So sometimes Rotten Tomatoes will reach out to us when a movie gets a 5 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10. They go, well, would you say it's rotten or whatever? It happens a couple times a year.
Mm-hmm. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
I believe there are some critics who genuinely like it. I think there's just like, I'm going to automatically like a Nolan film, of course.
Yeah, what's wrong?
But I also believe there are some critics who are going to overpraise this because of the culture war aspect and because who has been going after it. Now, I have been asking the question, like, how is this going to perform? I don't think it's going to flop, like, at all. And I've never thought that. I've got people like on X going, what are you going to say to these fucking box office? I'm going to go, they line up to what I've been saying and what Ryan's been saying, what Jeremy's been saying, what nobody's been saying it's going to flop outside of people who, there's been some people here and there, but like outside of the content creator, I don't think I've seen anybody say it's going to flop. It's going to open up to $200 million worldwide. I think it's going to be above that. All right, I'm just going to call it now.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's going to be above that. I think internationally it will do very well.
Yeah.
I think it'll do well internationally. I could be wrong. And listen, if this thing flops, roast me, roast the shit out of me. Okay, I can take my medicine. I've been wrong before. I was wrong today. I'll be wrong tomorrow. It's all good. Just a fucking retard with a microphone. But yeah, it's tracking at 200 million. It was 200 to 230. That's what makes me think I think it'll be a little higher than that because of the international numbers. Then it has a little time before Spider-Man comes out and bodies it. Absolutely bodies it. And there's no Barbenheimer. It's rated R. It's almost 3 hours long, but that's what everybody said about Oppenheimer. And you can't discount Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer had Barbie for sure, but Oppenheimer making almost $1 billion is like inexplicable.
That no one predicted.
Yeah, nobody.
But that's why the zeitgeist is real. What resonates with people?
Yep.
What is in the zeitgeist that people are feeling that makes something a hit that is unpredictable. I think Obsession is like that in the sense that there's so many layers to that movie that I think Gen Z can relate to. Much of it having to do with dating is broken, young relationships are broken, how do men and women deal with relationships today is very broken. I feel for them. So if you want to ask me any questions, but I mean, I told you the big things. You're gonna have a lot of nitpicks even beyond that, and they're valid.
I am more worried if it's good or not. I mean, the box office is a gauge, and it's a fun way to keep score on. It's the only way we can judge a success or not. But ultimately, there's the biggest movies of the last 2 years. I hate. I think they're garbage. I think Avatar is garbage.
Well,
garbage.
I can't wait for the debate about it. I don't think it'll be as divisive as, I mean, it could be one battle after another. It's weird that Hollywood didn't understand why people did not like that movie. I can't wait for FNT at this point. I will have out all the popcorn. I mean,
and we got Metatron.
Dude, don't even you only need one topic Friday. There's a lot of news coming out. Sure, we're
not hitting any other topic.
No, none of it. You got one item.
Odyssey.
Chris, thank you for the review.
Yeah, my honest thoughts are still germinating. So
processing. Yeah.
I mean, you may feel that way too because you remember when you saw the Batman. Did you love it?
No.
Did you hate it?
No.
Parts of it, I'm gonna guess, that's the Odyssey.
My opinion didn't change though. I went back to the Batman 3 times. So I saw it first, and then I saw it again. Opinion hasn't changed. And then I watched Penguin, and I'm like, maybe my opinion has changed now. And it didn't.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.